let's try. Let's try. Let's see if you ask me. I can answer these, but let's try. Who wants to start? Who wants to ask the first question? We're gonna ask one question each, okay? And then you're gonna ask, and then we're gonna listen. All right? Will you start, man? How does God give good luck to people? How does God give good luck to people? Let's think. That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked. Let's think. Wait. Let's think. What do you mean by good luck? Do you mean like nice stuff happens to people? And like sometimes I find a quarter? Something like that? Is that what I mean? Like good luck? Like that? I think everybody has a kind of luck. Right? Everybody has a kind of luck. And do you think you have good luck sometimes? Yeah, can you tell me something where you had good luck?
Sure.
Did you ever have good luck before? Never? Come on, did you ever get 2 like pieces of cake instead of 1 at a birthday party? That's pretty lucky. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what I think. I think that all of us have a kind of luck. And every person has a kind of luck. And sometimes it's good. And sometimes it's okay. And sometimes it's less good. But we all get that. You know how we get that? We get that just by being alive. That's it. Alright, who remembers the question? Bridget, you know the question? Why does God give? Why is the Torah so special? That's a great question. Let me take one more. I'll answer yours. Go ahead.
Why is God everywhere?
Why is God everywhere? Right? That's a good question too. Did anyone else have a question like that? Why is God everywhere? Let me answer those 2 and then I'll take some more, okay? So let's start with why is God everywhere? So when we sing with Chazan Stein, right, we put up our finger and we say, there is only one God. There is only one God. Right? And we say that God is everywhere. Well, look, there's some things we can touch and see. And there's other things that you know about that you can't touch and see. Right? So if I say, where's your fire truck? Can you find it?
No.
It's like in one place though, right? If I say, where is your classroom? That's in one place, right? We'll walk up there. Are you up there? Yeah. If I say, where are your shoes? Right? Well, sometimes you lose them, but right, you can find them. There's only one place they can be. But let me ask a different kind of question. What if I say, where is the wind?
Up in the sky.
Where is it?
Up in the sky.
Well, where in the sky?
Up low in the trees.
It's in the trees. Where else?
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. That's right.
Everywhere
I can't touch it and I can't see it, right? But it's everywhere all the time. What about if I said...
And you could feel it.
You can feel it, right? You can't see it and you can't touch it, but you can feel it. That's right. That's sort of like God. So what if I said to you, what about love? Where's love? Did anyone ever feel love before? Did you hug your grandma or your parent and you felt so good inside? Yeah? Right? So where's that at?
Inside.
Somewhere inside, right? Can I touch it?
No.
Can I see it?
No.
Can I feel it?
No.
You can't feel it?
Yeah.
You can feel it, right? You can't touch it and you can't see it, but you can feel it. That's sort of like God, all over all the time. So when I have a son that's 4 years old.
I know him.
He's about 4 years old.
I know him.
And when I take him in my arms and I hold him and I squeeze him and I squeeze him and I squeeze him, then I feel something inside. Right? Everywhere I do that, that's where I feel. Right? And I can feel God like that too. All the time, all over. But different than my shoes, right? It's not one place, it's not one thing. But different like that. Sort of like the wind and sort of like love. Yes, sir. Is today's sports day?
Fashion. We have a Mother's Day
I
fashion
forgot
show.
to dress
There's only
up.
one God and God's everywhere.
Why is there only one God and God's everywhere? So it's sort of like what we were talking about, right? Everywhere being like the wind or like love. And one God, right? One God, our tradition says that there's one thing that's at the middle of everything, that's at the heart of everything, that started everything. One thing, not a lot of things. Shall you share the question? Do you?
Is God real?
Is God real? Very good question. Very good question, yeah, man. Say it again.
Do thieves believe in God?
Do thieves believe in God? I saw that. That's a great question. I saw that question on here somewhere. So let's ask them. Let's answer them separate. So what do you mean by do thieves believe? If you do bad stuff, do you believe in God still?
Why not?
Right? So do you think it's possible that you do bad stuff and you still believe in God? Do you think that's possible? Let's think about us. Okay, wait a second here. Let's think about us and not thief, right? Do I all the time do the right thing? Do sometimes I get out of line when I'm supposed to be standing in line straight? Sometimes I don't leave the sandbox when I'm supposed to. Do sometimes I touch my neighbor when I'm sitting with them, and I don't mean to, but my hand wanders and I start to touch them, and they say, stop touching me. Does that happen sometimes? Right? Sometimes do we do things a little bit that just aren't exactly how they're supposed to be? Sometimes.
Yeah.
All of us do that
Like
sometimes.
me.
What's that?
Like me.
You do that sometimes? I do that sometimes too. I know.
Because I make my nails sharp.
Right, and then you make your nails sharp?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are you not supposed to do that?
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes all of us do things that are a little bit, right? Not what we're supposed to be doing. And then could you still believe in God if you do things a little bit wrong? You can't, right? You can't. But a thief, you're saying, is a little bit wrong or a lot wrong? What do you think, Max?
A lot.
It's a lot wrong. So even if I do a lot wrong, right? Could I still believe in God? I think you can. But listen, if you do a lot wrong, are you responsible? Are you right? Yeah. If you do a lot wrong, if you can do a little bit of wrong, can you get in trouble a little bit? If you do a lot wrong, can you get in trouble a lot of bit? You can't. You can't.
My sisters get in trouble all the time.
Oh yeah, mine too, and me too. All right, let's see. Let me ask some more questions. Oh, you said, is God real? That's number one. So it depends on what you mean by real. What do you mean by real? What? And does God talk? Very nice. Very good question. So what do you mean by real? Do you mean real like I have a little doll in my house and I can pick it up and hold it and walk around it?
No.
Right? Do you mean it like that? Or do you mean like, is God real? Like, I never asked a question about the Torah. Like what? Like the same way when I was saying about love. Is love real? Shayush?
Yes. Yes.
Shayush.
Yes.
Because you can't see very well through those fingers. Right, so if love's real but I can't see it and I can't feel it, then you could say that God's sort of like that. And now, but Shai asked a really important question. He said, does God talk?
Leo's question, is the Torah special?
Does God talk? So, here's what I think about that one. I think God is different than us. God's different than us. And doesn't have a body like us. Doesn't look like us. God's different. God's like that wind that we can't see and we can't touch. So do you think wind talks?
No.
No. Do you think that love talks? Yes, Miss Shira, I still have to answer your question.
Is God perfect or does he make mistakes?
Great question. Did everybody hear? Is God perfect or does God make mistakes? So let me, Shira, in the Torah, right? That's what you said. Why is the Torah so important, right?
No, special.
Special. Why is it so special? The Torah is like our people's oldest book, and it has all the stories about our family. So if you found a book about your family and you could learn about your great-great-great-great-great-grandpa, would it be pretty cool? You would hear about him and what he did. That would be pretty neat. So, does God make mistakes? In the Torah, it says that God can learn. Right? God can learn, which means that you do something and then it doesn't really work out, and then you can try a new way to do it. Do you ever have that? Yeah? So the Torah says that God can learn, right? If you can learn, that doesn't mean you're exactly perfect. Right? Exactly perfect. All right. Anyone else have a pressing question? Yes, sir. Does God speak Yiddish? Do you speak Yiddish?
He speaks Russian.
You speak Russian? You speak Russian? I can talk to you in Russian. Can you say привет? That's like that. Can you say I love you? How do you say I love you in Russian? When I was in Russia, they taught me to say, I was in Russia before. They taught me to say something that's not right, but they taught me to say the color yellow, and the color blue, and then a bus. It's not quite right, but it's close. So you say yellow blue bus, something like that.
That's a good joke.
Something like that. I don't know. I'm really sure what I'm talking about. What was your question? Does God speak Yiddish? But we could ask that about every language, right? Does God speak Yiddish, or does God speak English, or does God speak Hebrew, or Spanish, or French, or German, or Chinese?
God speak all the Englishes.
Every language. But here's the one that God knows best. God knows the language that, like all those thoughts that you think inside you. Everybody, in the Torah it says that there's 70 languages. That's a lot, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7 times.
I didn't count the seven.
That's a lot of languages, right? Right, who didn't get to ask a question? Do you have a question, Ilana?
I didn't.
No? Yes, sir.
Why is God special?
Why is God special? That's a good question, too. What do you think? What do you think would be special? Do you ever think about it? The rabbis think about that a lot, that question that you ask. What makes God special? You know what they say? They say God's a little bit different than us, but God helps for things to happen that couldn't happen otherwise. So, you see that light up there?
Yeah.
Everybody can see the light? Can you touch the light?
No.
No. But because that light is on, can you see and do things that you couldn't do if the light was off? If it was completely dark in here, would you be able to play a game or do something or read a book? You wouldn't be able to, right? And if it was completely dark in here, would you be able to see your neighbors? No, that would be like this. I wouldn't be able to find him. But because the light's there, I can do other things, right? I can play a game, I could read a book, I could see my friend, I could do that kind of stuff. The rabbis talk about God like that. That's what's special. Because of God, there's things that can happen that couldn't happen otherwise.
I think they had some questions yesterday that they...
There's so many. This is a million questions. Let's see which ones. Does God have a birthday?
Who said that?
I don't know. That's a great question. Does God have a birthday? Yes, sir. Are you asking about God's birthday or are you asking a new question?
Ask me a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Is God born?
Is God born? Like a baby?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's a really good question, too. That's a super good question. So listen, that's a question like, where does God come from? Does God have a mom? Does God have a grandma? Does God have a birthday, like we said? Does God have a baby? Does God have fingers? Does God have toes? Does God have spiky hair or curly hair or flat hair? Is God a boy or a girl? Right? So God's not a boy and not a girl. And God doesn't have a body and isn't have curly hair or straight hair. God's different than us. Different. So just like we are born, right? People are born, animals are born, but God's different than us. Different than us. So the truth is, we don't know exactly, but different than us. Sort of hard, right? Because you don't know the answer exactly. But I always think that God is not like people, right? Doesn't look like people, doesn't have a body like people, doesn't have a birthday like people, doesn't have fingers like people, or mouth like people, or eyes like people, or ears like people. Different, right, than us. But I don't know exactly. I know and I feel it. Yeah, I know those kind of things. How old is God? Great question, and let's see what Caleb has to say. Can God hear us when we talk? That's a great question too. So Max said, how old is God? Let's guess. Like 3? No. He's bigger than 3. He's bigger than 3. By the way, you know when we say God's a he, here's how I do that. So if I speak English and I say he, that means a boy, right? But if I speak Hebrew and I say he, what do you know what that word means?
A boy.
It means a girl, right? So as long as you say he and you mean he in Hebrew or he in English, anyone you want, you can say. All right. What was the question? How old is God? And we said 3, right? God's 3.
No, but he's older than 3.
Older? How old?
I know you do.
You do? So do I.
God is very
Strong. How old do you think? Like 6?
No, he's bigger than 6. And more than 6.
Like 8?
No,
You have a question,
bigger.
Matthew?
8.5?
No, bigger.
80?
Bigger.
Do you have a guess, Matthew?
110.
100? 110?
Yeah. 120.
So listen to this.
120.
What if we said God is infinity?
Oh, I used to say that.
Infinity.
He knows that number.
You know infinity?
Infinity of 1.
Infinity plus 1, maybe that too. God, so the rabbi said that God is outside of time. That's really hard to understand. Outside of time, which means we count in time like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. God doesn't even count like that. I don't. A different way that I don't understand. So maybe infinity, I think, is the right answer. And wait, Kayla said something. Does God? Yeah, you said, does God hear us? Right? I think. Well, I want to answer 2 ways. Okay. One way is I don't think God has an ear or God hears us. But sometimes, can you understand what's going on? Like you watch and you see what's happening in your house, and you sort of understand. Is this a happy time? Is this a sad time? Is this a me time? Is this a dinner time? Right? And you just understand, even if you didn't hear anything. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you get it? No? Yeah, maybe. I think there's a kind of hearing that's about understanding. Right? And God can understand, but I'm not sure it hears like us. I don't know if God has ears. Not sure. Did you have a question? I saw your hand like for a long time.
Why does God talk without a mouth?
That's really good. You know there's a little voice inside of you? Everybody have a little voice inside of them that tells them what's right and wrong?
Yeah, like your
Like-
brain.
Like sometimes it's your brain and sometimes it's your heart and sometimes it's all your brain and your heart all mixed together, right? But sometimes like you have to decide what to do. Do you do something good or do you do something less good?
Yeah.
Right? Do I get in the bath like I was asked, or do I just keep playing in my room? And inside me, there's a voice that says what the right answer is and what the less right answer is. The wrong answer is. You know that voice inside? Right? So the rabbi's going to say that God talks like that, through that little voice inside you. That's how. And that's not a mouth. That's like a feeling. You okay, Shaish? Making fun sounds. All right. You know what I brought you? Let's see. Oh, well, this one says, is God a king or a queen?
That's you.
Sure, that's a good question. Wait, but that's a good question. But remember I was saying before, not a boy, not a girl? So if I use a language like a king, tell me about a king. Tell me everything you know about a king. The king wears
a crown.
The king wears a crown, and he's weak or powerful? Powerful. And does the king get to demand stuff from people?
Yeah.
Does he say, do this and do that?
He has a wand.
And the king has a wand, and that makes him special, right? That was your question. Why is that special? So if you had a queen, would it be the same thing? Would she be weak or powerful?
Powerful.
She would be the queen. Would she have a crown?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Would she have? She would.
Yeah, sure.
Would she have? What was that thing you said? A wand?
Yeah.
Would she? Right?
Yeah.
So when we use those things, when we use words like king and queen, we're trying to say something really big and important and powerful. That's what we're doing. We don't really mean a king or a queen. We mean someone like a king or a queen. All right, let me see what else.
So actually, I have a
Yes,
question.
ma'am. Go ahead.
When we say Melech HaGadol,
Yes. The big king.
big king,
Yes. So for me, that's all metaphor, right? So that means like a big king. Not really a big king, but if there was the biggest king ever, God would be like that, for sure. All right, man. I like this question. Who asked this question? What does a Shabbat angel look like? You know that song? Shabbat
angels are peeking through my window.
Is that the right words? What does a Shabbat angel look like?
A star. Yes, black. A star.
Black? You think they're black? That's amazing. What do you think?
Golden.
You think they're golden? Wait, I asked about a Shabbat angel.
What do you think it looks like?
It's got a blue.
No, you're not listening.
I like the question. I like your question, but remember I told you I don't think God has a body like us. So I don't think God has blood through his body like we have. But pretty neat to think about blue blood. When I was a kid, there was a movie called Flash Gordon, and he had green blood. It's just a movie.
I like green
It
blood.
wasn't real. What do you think the Shabbat angels look like?
You have green blood.
Ugly?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Shayush, what do you think it looks like? What?
It's kidding.
Who's kidding?
Matthew.
Matthew's kidding?
Here's what I think Shabbat angels look like. Ready? Here's the Shabbat angels. So when you, on Shabbat, do you, like, wash your hands?
Yeah. I want my hands.
And do you find your kippah?
No.
And do you sit at the table?
No.
And do you not run away from the table?
No.
And do you not bang all the dishes on the table?
Yeah.
You do that? Yeah, I've heard that before. And look, when I'm at my house and I have 3 kids, and they all sit around the table, and they're sitting nicely, and they sing Shabbat songs with me, and they're nice to their brother and sister, and we play a game where you have to say something good that happened to you this week and something bad that happened to you this week, and you have to say one nice thing about your neighbor. We play this game in our house, and when they sit there and they do all that, I think those are Shabbat angels. Those are them. All right, let's see. Listen what I did for you. I think I have enough. I hope I have enough.
We have 15.
I brought you. Will you bring me one of those books? I brought this book that you can take home and do to your parents or your grandparents. Look at this book. It says, "I have some questions about God."
No, there's
Right?
not.
Is there not?
Yeah.
So I brought you this one.
Only one cookie.
I brought you this one to take home, and you can keep asking these kind of questions with your parents, and then agree to you. Listen to one of the things, some of the questions that are in here. How do we know there really is a God? I think that was Shai's question, right? And where does God come from? That's a baby question, right? And if there's a one God, why are there so many religions? Right? You asked a question like that too,
Michael did.
back here,
Scott
right?
speak Yiddish.
You said, is God Jewish or Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or Hindu or whatever, right? Does God know what I'm thinking or what I'll do? And can praying make somebody better? And does God care which team wins the World Series or the NBA title or the Super Bowl? And does God understand Hebrew best? That was your question. And is the Bible true or real? And does God really make miracles? And why is there so much bad in the world when people are created to be good? And does God punish good people? Right? This is a great book, and you can take it home and you can read it with your
What do we say?
with your parents, or with your mom, or with your dad, or with your grandma, or with your grandpa, or with your uncle, or with your sister. Which one should I read to you?
No, everybody's getting a
I
book.
brought one for everyone to take home.
Wow.
It's up there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I brought them all in there.
You'll get them
You ready?
later.
Let's see. Let me read you one. Ready? This one says, this question is, how do we know there really is a God? Right? I'll read you a little story, okay? So one sign there is a God is the uh-oh feeling. Did you ever have an uh-oh feeling? If something happens and you say, uh-oh.
I
You did? Like,
today.
well, you did something today? What did you do?
I forgot my jacket.
And then you said, oh! Right? This morning I broke a glass in my house.
Uh-oh.
And you say, uh-oh, right? So he says, one sign there's a God is the uh-oh feeling. If you've ever done something wrong, or something you thought might be wrong, you can often hear that little voice inside you that's saying that it's wrong. And we call that voice your conscience. And now no one's really sure where that conscience comes from, but I would say that God is the source of that thing inside, it says.
You broke the glass in your house.
Uh-oh, I did.
Today?
Today. Yeah.
It's not true.
All right.
I said the first one.
Yep.
I said it one time because you know what? I accidentally stole something, and I forgot to return it. So I said uh-oh.
Yeah.
When I forgot to get back a map and book, I said
You know what? That happened to me when I was a boy. When I was a boy, my grandfather took me, our friends had a store, and he took me to that store, and they had this little rocket. And inside the rocket, you put a little thing inside, and then you threw the rocket in the air, and it hit the ground, and it went pop. And I wanted the little rocket. I really wanted it. But my grandpa said no, I couldn't have it. So, you know what I did? I put it in my pocket. And I took it home. And was there an uh-oh feeling? There was. But you know when there was more? You know when there was more of an uh-oh feeling? I left it in my pocket, and then my grandma, she was doing the laundry in my, cleaning my clothes, and then she took it out of the pocket. She found it. And then my grandpa made me go back to the store. I had to go tell our friend that I took it, and I had to say sorry to him. No, it was really hard to do that. Sometimes it's really hard to say sorry, right? When you know you did something wrong. Because I didn't listen to the voice inside that says what's good and what's bad, right? I just wanted the rock. I liked it a lot, but it wasn't a good choice, right? It wasn't the right choice. All right. Should we answer more, or are you done? You're done? You're done. Can I visit you again?
Yes, please. Can
Can I give you your books to your teachers and they'll give them out in your
Yep.
cubbies
Yeah.
today?
Yes?
All right, these are good books.
All right.
Take them home and read them.
Room 11, what do we say to Rabbi Oren?
Thank you.
Let's give him a